Ryan Blaney and Team Penske strikes back at the Magic Mile as Toyota drops down the running order. Was New Hampshire a rehearsal for the championship race at Phoenix? All that, plus the hottest topic of the week, Denny Hamlin spins Ty Gibbs. What is going on there? We have a lot to talk about once again today on the Gay Racing Podcast. Hello. I am Zack, joined by my good friend Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Zack.
Yeah. New Hampshire, NASCAR at New Hampshire. You know, I miss New Hampshire being a playoff race, low-key. I think
it's
the
not
vibe,
one next year.
Yeah, I think the vibes of it being in the fall just are nostalgic for me. They used to open the chase for years and years, so there's some of that energy. I don't know what the weather was like. It might have been a little bit cooler than it is in July, but who cares? It's New Hampshire. It was, we'll get into it, but it was actually a really decent New Hampshire race considering it's New Hampshire. You know, like the expectations were very mild.
I think the bar was pretty low, all things considered. Short tracks have been a bit better the second half of the season, I feel, but it was still a pretty solid New Hampshire race. I would say it's one of the better New Hampshire races that I've seen in recent years.
They brought a softer tire as well, and you could even... It was a soft enough tire where you could see the tire rubber on the side of the car, like you could at Martinsville last fall.
Yeah.
So that seemed to help at least. Keep going in this direction, I guess. So I want to talk about Ryan Blaney. Don't you want to talk about Ryan Blaney?
You want to talk about Ryan Blaney?
Yes, totally.
Crazy.
Y'all, I was writing a little thing for the intro and I only had it as Team Penske, and Alex was like, put Ryan Blaney in there. Like, girl, look at our last three thumbnails. Blaney. Like, we don't talk about him enough. He finally gets a deserved third one of the year. And, you know, the talk last few weeks was, you know, Toyota sweeping round one. And, you know, is Penske going to catch up with them? Well, they dominated New Hampshire, frankly. And it wasn't just Ryan Blaney. Joey Logano was up there. Josh Berry, of all people, he finally made it out of the first turn and got to have a great race. Bittersweet for them, of course. I want to talk a little bit about, and we've talked about Blaney enough. Like, do you have anything to say about his performance? Because it was just
I think Blaney. this just shows and solidifies once again he's the championship favorite. Like, yeah, I've been saying that. You've been questioning. Last week you were like, have you noticed Ryan Blaney is good everywhere? And I'm like, yeah, I have, actually.
Y'all need to stop acting like I don't pay attention. It's just like, it's NASCAR, it's the playoffs, anything can happen. Like, I'm not gonna necessarily, and also I feel like results do matter, and if Blaney's not pulling out results consistently enough, even though he was, I'm just like, it is what it is, right? Getting this win, though, is a really good statement. Like, him not letting Josh Berry or Joey Logano win this race, like, that's a really huge statement. Because, I mean, we could also be sitting here today talking about, is Joey Logano looking at his fourth title if he would have pulled that win off, but he didn't. Someone who I wasn't really planning to talk about today, though, Josh Berry. You know, he got eliminated from the playoffs, and normally when that happens, it's like, okay, talk about you next year. Bye.
And he got spun in this race.
Yeah.
By SVG. And I actually think that was Josh's fault, that incident. I think Josh pinched SVG a bit too much in the corner. But Josh Berry managed to recover from that.
And Steve Letarte brought up a really good point, or maybe it was Jeff Burton, but it's like, normally if your car's not fast enough, then you can't make up mistakes like that. Yeah. But that just kind of shows the speed of the 21 team, and also what we talked about earlier, the quality of the race. Like, you were still able to pass. It was kind of like more like F1, where it's like, yes, there's passing, but anytime there's a battle, it's like a really big deal, which was actually kind of a nice balance. And Josh Berry definitely made the most of that. He made it all the way up to second place, and he was really charging hard on Ryan Blaney, but he wasn't able to pass him, allegedly. Maybe, listen, I didn't think about this till I heard someone say it this morning. Were there possibly some Team Penske team orders going there? Josh Berry not in the playoffs. Blaney winning this race locks him into the next round. You know, because sure, Blaney he would be pretty comfortable even if he didn't win. But also, you know, let's think about it. the Roval's coming up. Blaney's not like super standoutish on road courses. Kansas 1.5 miles, not Penske's strong suit. Getting this win's a really big deal. So I don't know, Alex, do you think there are team orders?
I don't, but I understand when people would speculate that. It would be more obvious, I feel like, if there actually were team orders.
Yeah, because we saw Barry make that mistake. That's true. We saw Barry make a mistake.
Like Barry wouldn't have made that kind of mistake. He would have just sat right behind him, and I don't think he would have gotten as close as he did to Ryan. Like, they wouldn't have made a show out of it. They would have just like, okay, you're a second back, just stay there. Like, it would have been more, more obvious in that way.
I think it's fair to bring up, though, because, I mean, what we saw last fall in Martinsville, this, not even just team orders, manufacturer orders, like, it has gone up to that level, and I don't think I don't think Martinsville was the end of that, and it's definitely something that might rear its head as we get into these playoffs more and more. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I think you're right. I'm only convinced, though, because of Barry making a mistake.
And something that Steve Letarte said on the broadcast is that that's just not who Roger Penske is. Roger Penske wouldn't want his drivers to be doing that. He's more of a race. He's a race fan and a racer. He wouldn't want his drivers to be doing that. If you're an IndyCar fan, you probably think that's nonsense. If you don't, like, whatever, considering things over there. But I just don't see this happening.
I low-key disagree because, well, this is a different circumstance. Like Blaney in Logano at Phoenix, like in 2022. But that's like a more extreme circumstance of like Logano's literally racing for a championship.
That's for a championship. Yeah.
But this is also for, like, Blaney winning this is technically kind of for a championship too. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think speculating like that diminishes this win for Blaney. So I don't think it's...
Yeah, T. Oh, and we can't do that. We can't. Oh my goodness. Another thing, and we'll talk about some team orders that maybe needed to happen later with Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin. Or do we want to talk about that now? Do we want to go ahead?
Well, I was going to say Toyota, one of the Joe Gibbs Racing competition director, Toyota didn't have as good of a race as we had thought they would have. They swept the first round, but Chris Gabehart, JGR competition director, said, quote, "The biggest thing to take away from today is that with this aero package and with the same tire being used at Phoenix, the Penske cars are completely untouchable again." And Zach, you were asking on social media if New Hampshire, what aero package New Hampshire was using, and it turns out it is the same as Phoenix, but Gateway and Bristol were a different aero package.
Yeah, because I was, Bristol, I know Bristol was its own thing just with the tire race in general. But Gateway, I think everyone was kind of thrown for a little bit of a loop with how, Penske was still fast, but Toyota had the edge on them. So that made everyone be like, whoa, what's going on here? But at Gateway, they used the same aero package that they use at the intermediate tracks with the really complicated diffuser. Because remember, they made like a rule change a few years ago to try to make short tracks better, like Martinsville and stuff. They made the diffuser simpler. Like literally, that's what it's called, simplified diffuser. So, but they don't run that at Gateway. They don't run it at Bristol. They do run it at New Hampshire. And guess who was the best cars at New Hampshire? Penske. I don't know if that's why, like, if that's the difference, because the question I was asking myself after the race yesterday is where was Toyota today? They were dominating the last 3 weeks to an extent. Where were they today? And that's the only thing I can come up with as a difference, right?
Yeah.
And maybe because it surely changes the car enough. I mean, we saw, even though you think Gateway and New Hampshire are very similar tracks, I feel like we saw two very different races at Gateway and New Hampshire. So they're clearly different enough. These cars are clearly different enough to where there's definitely going to be a difference in performance,
Well, yeah, I mean, that confirms that if they're two different aero packages, that it was two different races. And thinking about it, I think New Hampshire was actually the better race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was just passing. Like, I'm not sitting here steaming about next gen stuff like today. It was just it's also New Hampshire. Like it's just I've been watching
Like,
this track for years. It's like
New Hampshire isn't known for barn burners or anything, and I wouldn't say that's what this was either. But it was a much more entertaining, interesting race throughout all 301 laps.
Yeah.
Well, we've had many New Hampshire races that are just like, okay, I'm checking the time. How much longer? How many more laps? But like, I didn't feel like that at all with this race.
Yeah, 110%.
And sticking with Toyota, topic of the weekend, Denny Hamlin spun Ty Gibbs, questioned why the team wouldn't talk to him after trying to get around Ty for quite a while. Christopher Bell was also in this battle with Ty Gibbs for a while. They just couldn't get around him. Denny said on his podcast, quote, "I would think that Ty would want one of us to win a championship. It's his name on the building." Joe Gibbs Racing. His name's Ty Gibbs. Gibbs said, "Game on" the radio, and he didn't answer any journalist questions after he was released from the care center. Or I don't even know if he did that, just media after he got out of the car. And then Gibbs, it just kind of a classic Ty Gibbs thing here, like back to his Xfinity days where just like he wasn't going to let up and was just racing really hard. And some people said Ty deserved what Denny did, and some said that, maybe it was too far. We have a Patreon comment from Courtney who said, "I actually feel bad for Ty Gibbs here. Bro really got shipped for committing the crime of racing hard." Zach, where do you land on this?
For like 9th in stage 2, when you're no 100%, especially when Hamlin is clearly faster than you, like he's beating your bumper and like all over you. That's when you let them go. If this wasn't next gen racing, you would do that anyways because it's easier to pass. But 100% when it's your teammate, when you're not fighting for a championship, when they're fighting for a championship, it's early in the race. Yes, you let them go. Like if Ty Gibbs was leading and had control of the race completely, I get it. But he was like, what? They were not even in the top 5. Like, yes, track position was important yesterday, but it's not like, what difference does it make for you being 8th or 10th? You know what I mean? I don't know what exact position it was, but I get what Courtney's saying, because like 9 out of 10 times I agree. Like you're just because you're my teammate, I still get to race you. This instance though, especially when again Denny is clearly faster than you, it's just hard to pass. Like, let him go.
And they were like, 3 wide for quite a while.
So also like he's battling you. He's fast enough to get us alongside you and battle you. At that point, especially because like this is something on iRacing. I don't have teammates on iRacing, but if it's like if it's a car package where it's like easier to pass, if someone's like fast enough to get alongside me, why am I going to put in all this effort and burn up my tires to keep them alongside and battle that out when it's like still early in the race? It's just not worth it, right? Let them go. What are you doing that for? So I want to be almost in Ty Gibbs' head in that moment, right? Like, what is he thinking?
If this was a role reverse situation where Barry Blaney or Hamlin Gibbs and Gibbs was closing and Gibbs was racing Hamlin really hard, I think that'd be a different situation, right?
Would it be a different situation? It would get kind of messy, wouldn't it?
Because Gibbs would be going for his first career win, then he's trying to advance to the next round. And I think the other difference with Blaney and Barry is those are both really 2 clean drivers, while Hamlin and Gibbs are very more aggressive. Yeah,
and I think also, and Barry also already has his first career win. There's a difference there too. But man, I don't know. That is again something the playoffs kind of invite, like this kind of team order controversy. And again, I don't want to see team orders, right? But it makes it like if I'm Roger Penske or Joe Gibbs, like I have an expectation for certain things, and especially with the Roval coming in this round and the chaos that can come there, New Hampshire and Kansas are weighted, I feel like, a bit more heavy than most playoff races. I don't know if anyone else would agree. I guess since Talladega's in the next round too, that's gonna have those races weighted heavily too. I don't know. getting Blaney locked in or getting Hamlin, like Hamlin getting by and getting these points, I feel like are super important considering their roles coming up. But maybe the teams aren't thinking about that. Maybe it's just a typical playoff race. And why are you holding me up? I'm fighting for a championship here. And what happens next out of this? I don't know what the hell game on means. You're not getting payback on him. Are you kidding me? Because one, you're just not going to, because you don't have the balls to do it. Ty Gibbs does not have the balls to do that.
He's wrecked a teammate before in Xfinity, but he was trying to win a championship.
He wasn't Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin will beat some ass if that happens. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's true.
Number two, and it certainly ain't gonna happen during the playoffs when you're not in the playoffs. That's the key thing, right? Like, but my question here also is, what does Joe Gibbs think about all this? What does he think about all this?
Joe seemed to just say like the drivers need to just settle it between themselves, and he wasn't really going to get involved.
See, I get that if one of them wasn't his grandson. You know what I mean? Like that take makes a lot of sense. But it also kind of gives like, I don't want to have to tell Ty what he should have done. I don't want to give this teaching moment to Ty. Like,
well, and that goes back to something Denny says. Like, are they too afraid to talk to him?
I think they are. If that's what Joe's going to say publicly, now of course that's publicly. I think it would have been better if Joe said, "I'll talk to them," maybe. Not even talk to Ty. We're gonna have a discussion this week about it. That would sound a lot better than the drivers will handle this themselves. That's Joe not taking accountability and almost excusing. I feel like everyone, I don't know. I mean, we have a Patreon comment saying that Denny was in the wrong, but I feel like a lot of people think Ty's in the wrong here. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just think it's a little ridiculous.
Do you think this will actually lead to anything? Because I don't. I think they're gonna internally talk like, hey, we're trying to go for a championship. We just swept the first round. We can't fall apart already. Especially after a more lackluster race on it with the aero packages being used at Phoenix. I think we just need to regroup.
I feel like this might be a little crack in the Denny Hamlin and JGR relationship, if that makes sense. Because I think Denny, I mean,
Denny's going out the door in 2 years, it sounds like.
That, plus, I forgot where I heard this from. It might have been the Netflix show where Denny was talking about like him starting his own team kind of not offended Joe, but it made Joe go like, why are you going to start your own team? It was kind of weird, right? This is kind of another little crack in that I think if anything happens, it's going to be more related to that than Ty Gibbs getting payback. What that means, I have no idea, because I just haven't seen anything like this before in my time watching motorsports. Like, just, a driver for a team owner having drama with the team owner's grandson. When does this ever happen? Like, this is the first time in human history this has ever happened. So that is kind of cool though, right? I mean, these are the two most I don't know what the word is, influential drivers at JGR. Is that influential? Is that the right word?
Influential.
Who has more power, Ty Gibbs or Denny Hamlin? Because I don't know.
That might be a question they have to figure out.
I think that's why. So yes, this is going to lead to something, because now we are asking that question. I wasn't thinking about that until yesterday happened.
Yeah,
because now Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin, they're not just teammates anymore. There's something going on there, and it sounds like it's been brewing for a while based on comments.
Yeah,
so
I was just gonna say it has to have been something that's been building for a while, because Denny just seemed already fed up on the radio. Like, I don't think this is just a new thing from yesterday.
And the fact that Ty's holding him up in the first place, it's like there must be something going on in Ty's head. It's not just him.
Do you think losing Bristol last week is like hurting him mentally?
I think everything's hurting him mentally.
Because NBC was calling him to the win last week at Bristol.
I think that's that's another big kind of, again, I'll use the word crack. That's another big crack in terms of like Ty Gibbs' mentality, I guess.
Yeah.
Because think about it. This is your third year. He's probably going to go winless this year, if we're honest, right? Third year in the Cup Series. You're going to go winless again. You missed the playoffs when everyone expected you to. Everyone has expected Ty Gibbs to win races this year and make the playoffs, make the round of 8 or whatever. Nope. He is the only JGR card not to do any of those things. He's the only one. All of his teammates swept the first round. I think Ty Gibbs is mentally at his lowest. When was the last time he even won a race? It's probably like an Xfinity race or something.
Well, it would have had to be an Xfinity race.
Yeah. So it's like, so if you kind of put yourself in that headspace, I kind of understand why he was holding Denny Hamlin up. I just think that's stupid. Like, that doesn't excuse it for me. Like, there's no reason to be doing that in stage 2. Good discussion, though, because this was the most interesting thing that happened.
It was the highlight of the race. Before we talk about our next topic, I don't have this on our doc, Zack. Brad Keselowski's move, where he like went way down low and hit the wall and then crashed like a dozen or so cars. What was Brad doing?
His best.
His best.
He's giving Kyle Busch so much where it's like a few times a year we're like, oh my God, he's back. He's going to win this race. And then the next week he goes off and like wrecks on a restart for 17th place.
To me, it feels like Brad just got bored and was just like, I want to see if anyone will fight me. I miss how it was 10 years ago. Then just takes it 4 wide at New Hampshire, taking the NASCAR 08 modified route. Like that line works in those modifieds and that EA Sports game.
It works at New Hampshire. It works.
Not enough. In real life.
It works enough.
Not 4 wide. He has a car there. Shane Van Gisbergen was there.
Yeah, I know. Poor SVG. He had such a fast car yesterday. He's just getting beat around everywhere.
SVG was running top 5 on pace for a while.
SVG and Josh Berry make my heart hurt. They ran so good today and they just got eliminated. Like, oh my gosh, dude. That just sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know why that sucks? Because this playoff format sucks. Get rid of it. I'm over it. I'm telling you.
There's more and more chatter that it might be going away. I haven't listened to the full episode yet, but apparently on the teardown, they said that there's internal talks ramping up that a regular season points, like a full schedule points format could be coming back. That's
a bit not clickbaity, but that's a bit like, basically, I think that what they said was, because I did listen to it, in January when that playoff committee started, there was one person in favor of a full race format, and now there's a lot more people in favor of it.
Gotcha.
Which I'm just sitting over here giggling.
And NBC, Fox, TNT, Prime, they're in these discussions as well, and they have said in these meetings as well, according to Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi, that they want no part of the decision making.
Yes. Jeff Burton was spilling that tea on DBC last week.
Well, NBC has said this several times.
Well, yes.
I'm assuming that's part PR, but also part true. So
them saying that though, but do they mean it? I don't know if they mean it. Because what happens if we do, NASCAR then goes to a full race schedule, but then your ratings go down. Then you're all going to blame NASCAR.
Well, when the TV ratings have gone down 40% from when they rejoined the schedule 10 years ago, I mean, they have to be kind of upset about that, right?
Yeah.
They just signed on a new TV deal. They probably want those to go back up, I would imagine. So what's currently happening isn't working. I could see NBC being like, yeah, change it, but we don't want any part of it, of what you do.
I mean, that's
because
fair.
If that doesn't work, we don't want to get blamed for it.
I mean, NBC as well, I think they're kind of, because I don't know, when you really look back at it, NBC would kind of have just the last part of the schedule.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, as a racing fan, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just, I'm ready to watch some NASCAR on NBC. And if the championship's close, NBC, you're going to cover this generational championship battle, right?
Yeah.
Because either way, we just need something more. I don't know what the word is. Just like, I'm tired of talking about, is Toyota or Penske going to be the fastest cars at Phoenix? Like, we're talking about a race that's going to happen in 7 weeks. Like, I'm over that. I'm not gonna lie. As someone who semi-professionally talks about racing, like I'm kind of over it. Like, it's just it's just kind of
Because
two-dimensional.
in other sports where this format is based on, you're not always talking about how are they going to perform at the Super Bowl. Like, they have to get there first. And with in other motorsports, you have to get to the finale before you can talk about that final race. Here, we're talking about it 7 weeks ahead of time. Yeah.
Well, because what they do now doesn't necessarily matter. Like, sure, it's like they're showing what they can do, but it's not a 1v1 sport, so it doesn't necessarily, like, we already know in a way. It's like we know Penske's going to be fastest. Like, that's it, and that's what's going to determine the championship. Who's going to be fastest at this one type of track?
If the 12 makes it to the final four, like, they are the favorite. Like,
and if they don't win that race and don't win the championship, then it's like, what was the point?
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't win that, it's because something stupid happened. So either way, I would love to see something more traditional back, because that's also what I'm worried about. I hope they don't like try to gimmick it up even more in a way.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we'll keep eliminations, but no. I think we really just need to go back to something we used to have. And I feel like they won't do that, though, because then it's like, no, we need to do something brand new that we've never done before. This is the perfect format. No, just go back to what's worked. Admit your mistake. Denny Hamlin, he said on his podcast, like, he hates how the points reset after elimination rounds.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. What if?
Well, look at Bubba Wallace and points. We'll get to that in a second. Like, his points, he was locked in at points before the end of Bristol, and now he's last.
Well, I was catching myself at the end of Bristol. I was watching all those top, and I even texted you this. All these top playoff drivers are battling for these positions in the top 10, and it was literally meaningless. Like, it was literally meaningless. They were already locked into the next round. They have they weren't close enough to get a win, so no playoff points. They weren't fighting for anything. That's a big, huge problem.
And I had an idea. I didn't text you this, but I had an idea. What if they got similar to regular season points for each round, but then that just makes it more complicated?
That's what I'm saying. We need to go back to being simple.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, here's the thing. This playoff format, and I know we're getting the 87th time we're having the playoff debate on the Gay Racing Podcast, but I feel like the casual fans don't care about NASCAR enough to look into this format, even though this format is designed for them.
Zack, my coworkers don't know that NASCAR is a playoff format. I was at work today and said, yeah, my favorite won, and I'm going to the race next weekend, so I don't got to worry about the playoffs because he won. And they're like, NASCAR has playoffs? I'm like, yeah, they've had playoffs since 2014.
That's embarrassing.
And then before that, they've had a postseason format since 2004. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, I haven't watched since Gordon and Earnhardt Jr. race. I'm like, yeah. And, they probably talked about the 8 and before Dale even went to Hendrick. But anyway, just the casual people don't know these kind of things.
They don't care. And they're not going to look into it. If you care enough to look into it, then that means you probably don't like the playoffs. And I know there's some people like Jordan Bianchi and a certain subset of actual legit NASCAR fans that do like the playoffs. But I just have to ask you, do you? Because I feel like you like the playoffs, and I don't want to be rude here. Like, did you grow up watching NASCAR? That's kind of rude for me to say in a way, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the core of the sport needs a championship format that rewards the best driver. Like, we've got to change the narrative. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
And I've defended it a lot, but I'll reiterate. I don't think this is the best way to do it either. I've defended it, but I don't think it's perfect. We have a Patreon comment from Finley who actually has a proposal for a playoff format. Finley says, I feel like a good playoff system would be a meet a middle ground for a lot of people, would be the 2007 to 2012 12-driver chase with just 8 races instead of 10, with a mid-playoff reset with 6 drivers eliminated, and you get 40 extra points for a win. Finley says that they're a full season truther, but this seems like a decent compromise. It would simplify it quite a bit thinly.
I don't
Zack,
see
you're
the
making a
point.
disgusted face.
I don't see the point in like compromising there, because I feel, again, this is kind of me what I said earlier. Like, let's not just do something brand new. Let's go back to what worked. My problem here is, what's the point of still having an elimination? Like, isn't one reset enough after 26 races? Why do we have to reset it again? Like,
I mean, right
again,
now we reset like 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
and then we're still gonna have that situation where we have drivers are like, you know, the race before the next round, they're already locked in. They're racing in 8th, maybe having a good day, but those good points don't matter. We can't have that. I don't think there should be any time in the season where you're racing and what you're doing does not matter. I think with a 10 race chase, that can stay true.
My biggest nitpick outside of the winner take all finale at Phoenix is when they're in the round of 8, when they win that first or second race, they don't have to do nothing at Martinsville. They could finish last in Martinsville. That infuriates me.
That's not
because at least for like Blaney, he just won in the round of 12, advanced to 8. He can still try and win Kansas or the Roval and get stage points. But round of 8, if you win in that round, you don't get to carry your points. That's my biggest gripe.
Yeah.
With it. Right
it's
now.
hot and cold, because it's like, think about the championship run Blaney had, where he had to win Martinsville, and then next week he goes and wins that championship. That was awesome. The other side of that coin is Joey Logano literally winning Vegas and then running like absolute dog water at the next 2 races. Like, that's not championship. Like, we don't want our champion to be running in the back at Martinsville when he's going to win a championship next week. Like, I don't know. We got to stop reinventing the wheel on how we crown the best driver. There's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So, let's just do it.
Let's pull up the playoff grid since we love it so much.
Yay! Since we love it. Did I even pull it up? Picture. Open a new tab. I thought I did that earlier, but apparently I didn't. Where's Restream? Sorry, I suck at this. Alex is looking at me like a disappointed father. I'm sorry, Alex. Is it up?
Let's do it like this.
Okay. I'm like, you were silently still sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I was
waiting for it to pop up bigger. Anyway, so playoff grid, Blaney's locked in. We'll just kind of roll through this. Byron and Larson are plus 47, 41. Big gap down to Bell plus 29, Hamlin 27, Logano plus 24. Talked about him. He had a pretty good day. Better than I thought he would do. Elliott plus 14. He ran awful all day until he got up there toward the end of the race.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe, first quiet race for him in a while. He's only plus 12. Then below the cut line right now, we have Chastain, who's minus 12, Cindric minus 19, and the 23-11 cars, Reddick and Bubba Wallace minus 23 and minus 27. Those two I am very concerned for, because despite winning 3 in a row at Kansas a few years ago, they have been running terrible at Kansas in recent years. And then the Roval, you could say that's probably Reddick's best shot, but I don't know. I mean, and Bubba Wallace, I mean, he's improved on the road courses. They are going to have to find that speed they had at Kansas a few years ago in order to turn this around.
You know it's bad when Riley Herbst has beaten Bubba Wallace. Girl, we got to be doing a little bit better than that.
What happened there, by the way?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Toyota not being fast yesterday is like so weird. And like JGR was still being, they were doing all right, but Legacy was up there with them with that speed.
Yeah.
But they were nowhere to be found yesterday. And I feel like this playoff grid this week is really what we looked at last week. It's just the gaps got bigger. And it's kind of confirming. I don't even know. I don't think I predicted. Didn't I predict Elliott to be out and like Reddick in or something? I think that's what I think I said Reddick was going to pull it together.
I think so.
Because I was like Toyota. Like, I just thought they would be fine. But Reddick now, though, because he's not going to go win Kansas. I just don't think that's going to happen.
He could. It's just they're going to have to bring back that speed they had a few years ago.
No. The Roval, maybe. I mean, he's top 5 drivers on road courses typically. He could go out there and have a Cinderella moment at the Roval.
So last week we were saying it's all going to come down to Kansas. Like, is Hendrick going to have the speed? Hendrick looks pretty good on points outside of the 9.
Yeah.
I do think that still stands. I think
Yeah.
Logano's going to have like another decent run. I mean, he's plus 24. I think he'll be
Yesterday
okay
was
as it
huge.
stands now. Yeah, huge.
Yesterday was huge for the 22. Like that might make the difference, to be honest, because I feel like they're going to have one of these next 2 races is going to be mediocre for Logano.
Yeah, and then Ross Chastain won the fall Kansas race a year ago. Do we think that kind of speed could show back up?
I mean, he's got a path, but here's the thing too, though. It's just these are really good teams. Like, look at the top 8. It's JGR, Penske, and Hendrick, quite literally. Like, you have to beat the best teams that are always winning races, always running in the top 10 and 5. It's going to be tough. Now, Chase Briscoe was not that good yesterday either, which, man, speaking of resets, Chase Briscoe got so many points in the first round. Couldn't keep him.
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba? Yeah. Oh, that's kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to picture anybody jumping up in front of the cut line right now. I don't know if you agree with that, but because Cindric ain't doing nothing.
See,
He's staying right where he is.
Cindric is kind of my SVG of this round. Like, I know we're only 1 race in, but I thought he would do a lot better in New Hampshire, considering how well Blaney and Logano did, especially in hindsight, and Barry. Bizarre, I feel.
It seemed like a matter of execution. And that kind of would explain it. Like, if you just told me, why is one team not running as good as all the other teammates? Execution. Pit crew. I don't know. Just, I mean, there's a lot of human elements going into it. Austin himself, like the driver. It's just, that 2 team historically is just never really a powerhouse. And nothing's changing my mind here. They don't consistently win races. They don't belong in the round of 8. That's kind of it. If you don't consistently win races or threaten to win races, I don't know if you really belong in the round of 8.
Yeah.
Does Tyler Reddick consistently threaten to win races? I don't know if I would say that this year.
Not this year.
Nope. Chase Elliott, low-key.
We'll make our picks for Kansas at the end of the episode. But, Zach, we have 1 sip of tea this week. And we talked about it last week. Talked about most of this last week, but it's now official. The IndyCar schedule for 2026 has been released. Here's everything. We talked about a lot of this again last week. No Mexico City. That was known. They did a shadow press release on a weekend for no one to see it. No Washington, D.C. That was expected to be the replacement for Mexico City. That they didn't get that across the finish line. It sounds like they're going to try making that happen for 2027 as well as Mexico City. No Iowa, no Thermal Club. We knew those. I think there was like a slim chance Iowa could have stayed on, but that isn't happening. And then we have a large gap in the schedule that is moved from the start of the season to a little later. We only have 1 race in April, and that is Long Beach. I do think that's a bit better than what we had before, don't you think, Zach? It's still not ideal, but
the beginning of the season was the biggest improvement to this. Like, obviously, adding Phoenix, another oval before the Indy 500 is a huge deal to me personally. But IndyCar has always struggled with that early season and keeping any momentum that they might have gotten from any kind of preseason promotion.
Well,
that's
and the
biggest win here.
The season's going to start with a triple header, 3 races in a row: St. Pete, Phoenix, and the Streets of Arlington, which is in Dallas. That's awesome. 3 in a row. That's going to be a huge start to the season. Then they have a week off, and then they go to Barber. Couple weeks off, Long Beach, couple weeks off. And then you go into the month of May, Indianapolis Road Course, the Indy 500, and Detroit. I like that a lot more. I think if you added one more race in April, this would be really, really solid. You're shaking your head no?
And I'll tell you why. Because April being so empty it's kind of the calm before the storm. And also it's Long Beach. Like, at least there's a big race in April, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not like we just
testing. Indy 500 testing will be in that month too.
That's what I'm saying. One of those weeks is going to be Indy testing, and even don't they do like how many tests? Don't they do a lot of tests? Like, I know they have
they do one big test in April, and then they do all the practices for the Indy 500 in May.
Okay, I thought they had like 2. Maybe I'm thinking of like a rookie test, like a rookie.
You're thinking of the rookie test that Larson did.
Okay,
the last
that's
2 years. Well, not rookie test, but
yeah, refresher.
Driven their consistent. Yeah, refresher. That's it.
But either way, I think having April be free as a build up to the month of May is actually really dope. And if there's, because again, there's a lot of racing in March. I think having that break, having your second biggest race on the schedule, and then we have a week off, but we're literally about to have our biggest month. That is really fine in terms of preparation and from all fronts, fans, media members. Because also, man, I haven't seen IndyCar racing in a while. It's the month of May. Like, it might make the Indy road course a good race. Because, man, I haven't seen IndyCar in a while. This is going to be great.
And to your point, this is a lot better than St. Pete and then having the long gap, because then it's like, oh, you forget about it. Then you kind of dwindle into April and stumble in. But now you're right. You do kind of have this like momentum building. Long Beach, then you go to Indy. Like, I see what you're saying. I still think one race in April.
Yeah, also, sure. That wouldn't hurt.
April does have Easter in there. You have the week of testing. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, between Easter, testing, there's plenty going on in April. They could always add some other off-track events, like make the month of May legit the month of May, like have something the week before the road course, even whatever they want.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. I love the first half of the schedule. To be honest, I haven't looked at the last half too much.
Going into the second half, Gateway is June 7th.
Happy Pride.
Apparently, that's gonna be a night race again.
Wait,
it's going to be a Sunday night, is my understanding. And then Road America. And then in July, we have Mid-Ohio. And controversially, you have Nashville leaving the season finale to move into July. It's going to be very hot. However, here is my understanding of why they did this. The World Cup is happening, and Fox has the World Cup. And what's going to happen is you're going to have the World Cup on Fox, and it's going to lead into a night race at Nashville. This used to be the Laguna Seca race weekend. Which would you rather have a non-IndyCar fan watch? Laguna Seca or Nashville?
All right, fair enough.
That is what my understanding of why they did this. Is that like...
Okay,
like wishful thinking? I don't know, but
could we swap Laguna and Milwaukee then? Like, there is.
See, I'm with you there.
There is literally no damn reason we need to end the season at Laguna Seca again.
I agree.
I kind of forgot that it used to be there, and I was glad I forgot. It's not where we need to end the championship.
I agree.
So and like also this World Cup lead-in thing, I'm just like, how much will this matter on the grand scheme of things? That's what I'm saying. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
If you get even the chunk of that, it's gonna be a massive audience. Like, it's a huge deal. If you get even a sliver of people and they stay tuned in, I would rather them watch Nashville than Laguna. Laguna just like, oh my God, this is boring.
I can't tell if they need to not wreck on lap 1 or if they should wreck on lap 1 at Nashville. Would that be a good or bad thing? What would the World Cup fans want to see?
I don't know. But all right, it'll be a night race.
Colton Herta won't be there. Who's going to wreck then? Darn.
Oh, damn.
God. Santino? No, he doesn't really wreck that much anymore. Oh, Louis Foster. Come on, man.
Moving into August is Portland. The Streets of Markham is replacing Toronto.
The who? Where?
It is a suburb of Toronto, is Markham.
Oh, we got downgraded?
Yeah.
They kicked us out.
That's also because of the World Cup, but they signed a multi-year deal with the city of Markham. So
IndyCar's getting ran through by the World Cup this year.
So Toronto is gone. It seems like Markham would be the new thing. Then you have the doubleheader at Milwaukee returning, and then it goes into the finale at Laguna Seca. I don't think the doubleheader in Milwaukee was planned to return. One of those dates was going to go to Washington, D.C. That obviously didn't happen.
I just remembered Iowa's off the schedule, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, Iowa is off the schedule.
So we didn't get an oval date. We just...
Correct.
It's... Oh, my God.
Phoenix is replacing one of the Iowas, and the other Iowa went back to Milwaukee. So the doubleheader is now at Milwaukee. Yeah.
I hate doubleheaders. I do not want to watch IndyCar on a Saturday. I'm good.
Your idea of ending the season at Milwaukee as a Saturday, Sunday event would be kind of cool. It'd be like bringing back double points. It's just two different races.
No.
No?
No. Unless combine it into one long race and then just do double points, sure. But this is... Yeah, that really... Man, the March is so good. March is like a really good part of the schedule.
It is.
Yeah, it's just so deflating, the last half of the schedule. Like that's just so lame to me. I don't know.
I do think this is a huge upgrade. Not a huge upgrade, but a great upgrade from last year or this year's schedule.
No, I think really
so.
Just March. It's just March is better and the rest of it's kind of worse.
I think having Phoenix back is pretty big. Don't you think?
So screw your Mexico City date because of the World Cup. Screw your Nashville finale because of the World Cup. And oh, by the way, you're going to the suburbs of Toronto now. If it couldn't be much worse. Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm not upset about it. I do agree with you. The second half of the season needs work. The first half they've made a lot of progress.
I just haven't gotten to hate on IndyCar in a few weeks. Jesus. It hasn't been that long.
Well,
damn.
Any other comments on that?
I think Joseph Newgarden's cute.
I agree. So fantasy NASCAR is at Kansas. For New Hampshire, Zack had Christopher Bell, who finished 6th place, and I had Denny Hamlin, who finished 12th. We're tied again.
We're very tied, actually. We're very
again. Tied. So we had a tiebreaker for first, second, third. We had the same number of first place finishes, second place finishes, and third place finishes. This went down to 4th place finishes. I have less of those. My pick for Kansas is Chase Briscoe. Now, hear me out. He finished 4th there in the spring before he really started to heat up. And then last year in the fall race, Martin Truex finished in the top 5. I think the 19's really good at Kansas. Briscoe's starting to get better. We're going back to a track where Toyota's going to have speed. I'm going Briscoe. Zach.
Toyota will be fast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect you to pick Chase Briscoe. I'm not going to lie.
I thought maybe I would change my mind, but that's where I'm feeling.
Toyota has been really fast. All right. I'll pick Denny Hamlin.
I thought you were going to go with Kyle Larson.
I almost did. I kind of changed my mind last minute. I just kind of was like, you know what? Toyota really does have it over Chevy. Not saying that Chevy's not going to be fast, but man, Toyota has really impressed me. Especially Hamlin. I mean, Hamlin's really impressed me.
Yeah.
On most tracks, but especially these speedways. So
now, Larson is who I would have picked if I decided to change my mind on Briscoe, but he's so hit or miss. He could finish 80th, crashed on like lap 20 or something, or he can go out there and lead every single lap of this race, as he did nearly in the spring. It's just, I haven't seen that from him. He's been getting better, but I haven't seen domination from him. And I feel like if he's going to win a race, it's going to be in dominating fashion. We haven't seen that, quite frankly, since Kansas in the spring.
And that's kind of why I want to pick him, because also this is one of the first 1.5 mile races since then. Like the only other one was the 600, which, you know, he was mentally boo-booed from this from Indy. So Byron too, watch Byron. I was thinking about Byron. I think Chevy's going to have a really good day.
Yeah.
Honestly. But Toyota did look really, really fast at Darlington and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I think us going Toyota is probably the right call, but I thought going Toyota at New Hampshire was the right call, and well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It all comes down to Kansas.
I know I'm wearing the Blaney shirt, but Blaney's going to be a threat at Kansas too. He's a threat everywhere. He's been a threat on every single track this year.
I'm over this whole Blaney thing. He needs to go to F2. I'm over him. Can we ship him to F2? I'm over him. God, could you imagine? God. Anyways,
his damn beard in Formula One.
Oh my God. Since Ryan Blaney's so great, let's put him in an F1 car. See how great he is. No. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you to our Patreon members for their support and for contributing to this episode with their comments. Patreon.com/GayRacingPod if you'd like to join. It's only $2 a month if you'd like to submit questions. $5 a month for any early access we decide to do. We want to do some throughout the off season, so stay tuned for that. Consider giving us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and liking and subscribing on YouTube. And follow the podcast on socials at Gay Racing Pod, and follow Zach and I at Dreamy Zach Racing and at Newgaden.
Or don't.
You don't have to follow Zach.
I don't tweet much. I'm not in my racing mood, although I'm low-key getting back in it. Doesn't the NASCAR game come out soon?
I think next month, right?
Girl NASCAR 25 release. Because I feel like I just need the video game October 14th. I feel like I need that to really get me back into NASCAR right now. That's all I need. Although I really did enjoy yesterday's race. And part of it is just the juicy drama with Gibbs and Hamlin, but I don't know. We'll see you guys next week to talk about where we're going, Kansas. Oh, you'll be there.
I will be there.
Yay. So me and Alex will talk about Kansas. We'll talk about if you see anything new at the track. Maybe we'll see some cute guys at the track. Oh my God.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, you seem very excited about that. You're just like, I'm gonna go see Blaney run it down. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.